Thanks everyone for joining the session today. Um, Please feel free to introduce yourself, leave some comments now in the comment section if you are watching this live or later if you are watching the recording. So really today I wanted to talk to you about the journey that we see successful technology companies going through when they go from a startup phase where they're having poor or unpredictable sales performance to a much more developed or refined version of themselves where they have a much more predictable revenue engine. And so this pyramid that you see on screen is actually trying to depict those three stages, which I'm going to go through in a minute and explain the transformations that typically tech startups go through, analyzing those transformations from three different lenses, which is product, proposition, process, and profit. Yeah, the three magic P's. Just some credit, this is not my idea. This pyramid is something that I stole with love from Greg and his team at Elt Agency, and I believe it really shows and portrays in a very graphic way what is it that we're trying to achieve or portray in this meeting. And so typically when you start a technology company, it's typically a techie who used to work for a big tech organization or a big organization, and they had this great idea, and for whatever crazy reason they decide to leave their day jobs and to start a technology companies, probably not knowing what they're going to get themselves into. But nonetheless, they have this vision, whatever it is, the reason why they did this, they created this company because they had a vision and they believed that they had something to add to the table, a real solution that could make a difference, or they wanted to get rich, or they wanted to retire and go to the beach. Whatever the reason, they made this jump, and typically it's a stage where you are as a founder uh, probably not well acquainted with sales, just a great product idea. um, you are probably in that stage in surviving mode. So from a profit perspective, you're probably not making money or losing money even, or not making as much as you like. From a sales process perspective, the process is non-existent. And from a proposition perspective, you're trying to figure out what the proposition in fact is. It's more like an idea, a concept, but it hasn't been actually tested necessarily and repeatedly and consistently in the marketplace. And so really what's holding companies back in doing the transformation from startup into a well-formed tech organization, or with a tech organization that's starting to form, is lack of definition. So things aren't really well defined. So the companies, they go after the solution, they portray how they sell, what things they do, and what not. When they are in a form, in the form stage, the one that you see in the middle, when they're forming, the hustling stage begins. And what this means is there is profit, there is revenue, there's clients coming in. In fact, some organizations make a lot of money on a monthly basis. But those sales, that growth, that profit is not consistent. It's like whale hunting, where whale hunters hunt 1 month and then they live off that the rest of the year. So it's pretty much the same. They could close 100K one year and then maybe nothing for the next year, or maybe they close 10K 1 month, nothing the next 2 months, then 30K and so on. And so they go through these feast famine periods. And what you find is, from a sales perspective, the process really exists, but it's not being followed, right? So you probably have an idea of how you've sold to companies in the past and have some sort of stages in a spreadsheet or a CRM, and you kind of know what are the things that you need to be doing and where the opportunities kind of are according to those stages. But it either isn't followed 100% the process, or it's just names under a stage. It doesn't really mean anything. You can't really tell whether they're going to come in or not. It's there, but it's not refined, if that makes sense. And from a proposition perspective, you find that existing clients will probably ask you to do things that you don't know very well, or you don't know how to do very well, but you say yes to anyway because you want to keep the client, or you want to get the extra revenue. Or talking to brand new prospects, maybe a referral comes in, they ask you to do something that's wildly different to what you first envisioned you'd be doing, the core of your solution, but you say yes to that anyway because you need the extra money. You need to hunt that next whale. And so the proposition really is you saying yes to everything. Yes to existing clients, yes to prospects, yes, we can help, we can do everything. And the problem with that is typically sales cycles get messy. There's a lot of things that you need to be proving. You need to get ready to prove those things. It's not always easy how to prove them, and it just takes a lot of effort, a lot of time and resources to prove to those potential clients that you can actually help. And you probably have to kiss a lot of frogs in that journey, and probably not many go through, not many close, and even if they do, it becomes a completely different problem later down the line serving those clients. But that's a different kind of worms. Excuse me. And so many companies, however, are completely happy to stay there, and that's absolutely fine. There's no problem whatsoever. Indeed, what we see that's stopping companies to go from a form stage to a perform stage is that lifestyle lenses they see the world through. It's companies and organizations that, for whatever reason, excuse me, they decide to stay there because it's comfortable, it's easy money, or for whatever reason, they just stay there. But what you find is companies that move to the perform stage, those tech organizations are the organizations that really thrive. These are the organizations that, from a profit perspective, see not only money coming in, but money coming in a predictable fashion and in a profitable fashion as well. From a process perspective, you see that they have a process-oriented approach to selling. So they know what things, activities they need to be doing on a daily basis to create a certain amount of deals, to convert X amount of deals into clients, how long that will take, the effectiveness behind it. So they really have a tight grip on those leading and lagging indicators, but more especially, they really know what are the things that they need to do on a daily basis to get deals closed. And part of the reason why they do that is also because the proposition is quite narrowly defined. So they know who they're going after, they know the proposition, they know what things they need to be doing on a daily basis, they know how to do those things as well. So in the end, selling is a process where they know certain actions will lead to certain profit in a certain amount of time. What we see companies and tech CEOs and founders, the thing that they need to do, the thing that they need to get done to go from startup to form stage is really to package their knowledge. By packaging their knowledge, they are able to put together a framework where they stop just talking to everyone and they just stop trying to sell to everyone and working really hard and long hours in doing so, to a place where they really know exactly what are those things that they need to be doing to come to that outcome that we discussed before. And so by packaging your knowledge into a process that's repeatable, into a system, a way of selling, not only they can be more efficient at selling themselves, but also they can begin to think about starting to get some help. Maybe hiring someone who's going to help them do some of the activities that have already been defined, and they know that those activities will be done accordingly because they have been defined, they have been documented. There's clear instructions on that new person that they're going to hire, or those people who are going to help them sell. What are the things that they need to be doing on a daily basis? That's completely documented, and so the benefit of doing that is actually you get help, you get the help that you need, you free yourself from having to do all the work, but also you don't need to hire a super expensive sales guru that most likely isn't going to help you sell more, because real talk here, if you can't sell your solution, nobody will. So expecting that someone is going to come in and join your organization and be able to sell your solution, which you've created and you built from the ground up, is a risky game. And I have hundreds of examples, well, not hundreds, but a few examples of clients who have hired expensive sales guys and have let them go 9 months later down the line, having sold absolutely nothing. And so by packaging your knowledge, you mitigate this risk. You can not only become more proficient at selling your own solution, and when I say package your knowledge, I'm not talking about just your technical knowledge. I'm talking about a process which I'm going to take you through later down the line. And in order to go from a form to perform stage, really what technology companies tend to do is, okay, so maybe they have a few, they pass the time where they've hired someone and that person is successfully helping them sell more, and they repeat that process hiring another person, and so they come to a place where they start to remove themselves from sales, and that allows them to dedicate themselves and their time to do other activities such as products, such as marketing, and working on the business, working on growing the business, as opposed to be working in the business 24/7. And this is something that can only be achieved when you start removing yourself from sales as a founder. And obviously that needs to happen knowing that that team again has all the tools and the processes and everything they need to thrive without a lot of supervision, right? So these transformations is indeed what we do here at RevEngine. So we built this revenue builder program, which is designed to help technology companies define, differentiate, and deliver. And in 9 steps, we allow these organizations to make these transformations that we alluded to. And by doing so, they go from a place where they're kind of struggling to sell and those sales are not consistently, to a place where the revenue is more predictable, and this allows them to free themselves from sales from sales on a daily basis, and ultimately enjoy all the benefits that come from that. Money is coming in consistently, they have more time, they can invest that time in growing their businesses, and so on. And so quickly in the comments, guys, please let me know if this resonates with you. Where do you see yourself in this pyramid that I mentioned before? In what kind of stage are you right now? And what is it that you think you need to be? What are you trying to get to? And also, if you'd like to learn more about this process and these steps and how we take you through these 9 steps and how we have helped technology organizations go through this transformation, just hit the comments or schedule a conversation with us, and we'll be delighted